All right, today we're looking at one of the best features that the Blackmagic camera app offers that I don't think a lot of people use, and that is presets. Presets are now on the main screen. You see these three little dots over here on the left. You click that and you get three different icons that pop up, and the one at the top are the presets. I've got one set up here with my initials BC. That's my main setting. But to add a preset, what you would do first is go and set up your phone the exact way you want to shoot, and then the Blackmagic camera app remembers it. It's that simple. So you can set white balance. Let's go ahead and pick 5600. That's what I use more times than not. Shutter. I like to leave my shutter on 180. I'll lock it. Frame rate. 24 frames per second is what I shoot with. The lens, the camera, 24 millimeter. That's what I want to leave it on. And then you can go in and pick your different codec. For most stuff on YouTube and just more everyday video, I use HEVC, much smaller file sizes. And then for color space, this is a 17 Pro Max, and so I'm shooting Apple Log 2. If you're on a previous gen phone, shoot Apple Log. If you want to use Rec 709, you can, but I don't really recommend it because if you're shooting Rec 709, you get the over sharpened images and you get dynamic tone mapping. With Apple Log, that stuff is turned off. And then audio. Typically, like right now, I'm just using the iPhone mic and I leave it on auto. And then audio format, linear PCM. You get the idea. I'm not going to go through all the settings. You want to pick the settings that you use all the time. You go back to the main screen. And then out here, what I would do is, this is focus. I would leave that on autofocus. And then you've got zebras. I usually leave that on 95%. And then you got focus peaking. I have focus peaking turned on. And so again, once you get everything set up, go back to the preset. And then since I already have my initials in there, that's what I want to do. I would click that. And then this button right here is update. So I can update that setting with the settings I just set. Boom. Now you've got it. And so now whenever I select it, that'll be those settings. And then if I wanted to change the name, you can easily edit it, whatever you want to do, or you could delete it. I don't want to delete this one. But what I could do is set a new preset. I'm gonna call this one Slow-Mo or Slow-Co. Slow-Mo. So now I've got a slow-mo preset. And what I'll do with that is exactly what it sounds like. I'll go to the frame rate, I'll do off speed, and I like to do usually 60 frames per second. That's a 40% slow-mo. You could do whatever you want. You could do 48 frames per second. Let's go ahead and do that. 50% slow motion. And the thing is, when you're using the 180-degree shutter, and this is a nice benefit to that, you don't have to adjust the shutter because it does it for you. Because when you go into slow-mo mode, you lose light. Now you will have to adjust the ISO. You can do whatever you want there. That'll be dependent on the scene, but it will save these settings for you as a default. And so now I'll go back to the preset and I'll click on slow-mo and I'll do the same thing. I'll update that. Now it's got the 48 frames per second conforming at 24, so you get 50% slow-mo. But if I want to go back to my previous preset, I hit BC. Now you can see the frame rate changed, the exposure changed as well, and now I'm on the BC preset. So you can see how beneficial presets can be. I might do one for shooting with different lenses, etc. Although some of that stuff is pretty easy to switch on the fly. So normally what I do is stuff that's not as easy to switch quickly while you're shooting. And speaking of that, one other thing that is not a preset, but is something that's on the main screen that I really like is over here you've got function buttons. And so my function buttons I have routed are focus peaking. I can turn it off or on. You can kind of see it right there on the screen. It's on now, it's off. I have false color. False color is a great one to use. It's really the best way to set exposure using the Blackmagic camera app. And then I have auto white balance, believe it or not. I almost never use auto white balance, but there are situations when you're in an environment like here. I'm shooting inside. I've got multiple different light temperatures coming in the room. I've got window light. I've got light coming off these monitors. I've got a light above me. And so by setting it to a default color preset, it may not be exactly right. So what I'll do sometimes is hit auto, and because I have my camera set up to when I start recording, it locks the white balance. So it's auto when you're finding the white balance, but when you're recording, it's locked, then that works. But typically, once I find the white balance, what the camera thinks the white balance is, I'll turn that off. and now the white balance is set to 6280, and my default was 5600. And just real quickly, what you have to do to make those work is you have to turn them on in the settings app. So if you don't have that turned on, when you go back out here, they're not there anymore. So you go into settings, function buttons, turn those on, and you assign them right here. And you can get rid of them, by the way, by swiping. You just click and swipe. Same with the presets over there. Click and swipe. So if you're not using presets in the Blackmagic camera app, you definitely should. It's a great feature and it'll really speed up your shooting days. If you'd like to learn more about the Blackmagic camera app, check out the link in the description. I've got the complete guide to the Blackmagic camera app that'll go through the entire interface step by step and teach you how to use all the features within this great app. Thanks for watching.